A very good evening to each and every one of us. Let me begin by saying Guten Abend to each one of us, Damen und Herren. Now, today I have a very interesting topic that I had to go live for. Yeah. Now, this topic is going to be on, I want us today to discuss on the letter writing. And I have a sample here that I will be sharing with us some techniques on the ones you need to apply when you're writing a letter. If you're just joining in, let me say welcome to you. Let me know from where are you watching. Feel free to comment down in the comments. Where are you watching us from? So I would like us to go right ahead. Now this one is, as I've said, the A1 Briefe schreiben. That is the A1 Briefe schreiben. If you're just joining in, let me say welcome to you. Let me know from where are you tuning in. Now, this is going to be a very essential topic, not just for the A1 level, but also the A2, the B1, etc. Right? Sehr gut. Those of you who are just coming in, let me say welcome to you. And just find yourself a pen and a paper as we get to write the following sample down. Let me also know from where you are tuning in. I see someone from Pakistan. Welcome, yeah? Multiple learnings from Pakistan. Let me say welcome to you. So, here's my very first letter sample. I'd like you to find somewhere to note down because this is essential, especially if you're about to sit your exams. So look at the following sample. Look at the following sample. I believe it is clear, right? So that is the Goethe Zertifikat Schreiben. And the question goes like this. Eine Bekannte. Eine Bekannte. Bekannte is an acquaintance. So an acquaintance, Frau Meyer-Siebeck. That is an acquaintance, that is Mrs. Meyer-Siebeck. Hat sie zu ihrer Geburtstagsparty am Samstag eingeladen. So please, let's break the question down systematically. So it says like this, eine Bekannte. Bekannte is an acquaintance. Eine Bekannte, who is Frau Meyer-Siebeck, hat sie zu ihrer Geburtstagsparty am Samstag eingeladen. So an acquaintance from Meyer-Siebeck has invited you to her birthday party on Saturday. Right? So, schreiben Sie an Frau Meyer-Siebeck. So, write to Mrs. Meyer-Siebeck, and then they go ahead and give you 3 points to write on. Guys, remember, this is the exact exam question, so please pay close attention. So, look at point 1. Point 1 says, Sie danken für die Einladung. So thank her for the invitation. Sie danken, you're thanking for the invitation. Number 2, Sie entschuldigen sich. You're apologizing. Sie können nicht kommen. You cannot come. And then lastly, was machen Sie am Wochenende? What are you doing over the weekend? So remember, you get a question like this, and then they give you 3 points to write on. So when writing the letter, the first step is to establish, are you writing a friendly letter or an official letter? That is always the first thing to do. Now, most people normally make the mistake, they proceed, just a moment. Most people normally make the mistake that they proceed to write a letter without first establishing if it's a friendly letter or an official letter. So the first step is to do this. Just a moment. Let me see if you can see if I do like this. So that was my question right there. An acquaintance, that is Mrs. Meyer-Siebeck, has invited you to her birthday party on Saturday. So the first point we said is you are thankful for the invitation. And then point number 2, Sie entschuldigen sich. You are apologizing. Sie können nicht kommen. You cannot come. And then lastly, was machen Sie am Wochenende? What will you be doing over the weekend? So I just go right ahead and begin writing. I'm going to give out a sample. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share a sample from that. So because it was an official letter, because this was an official letter, now I go ahead and begin like this. Remember how to begin an official letter? You now say, sehr, that is sehr geehrte, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren. That is how I begin an official letter. Mostly we use this method if you're addressing somebody you don't know. It doesn't mean dear sir stroke madam. But because in this case we know it is Mrs. Mayor Zibek, now I want to begin like this. So how will I now begin appropriately? So because you know the specific person, for this case we'll now say sehr geehrte Frau Mayor Zibek. So, sehr geehrte Frau Mayor Zibek. All right? Comma. Don't forget the comma. So I say, sehr geehrte Frau Mayor Zibek, comma. Dear Mrs. Mayor Zibek. And then you go to point number one. Point number one is, Sie danken für die Einladung. So, thank her for the invitation. So just go ahead and say, sehr geehrte, then I go, ich danke dir für die Einladung. Ich danke dir für die Einladung. That is point number one taken down. Remember, you have to follow each point in the correct order. Don't skip a point. And then comes in point number two. Point number two is, Sie entschuldigen sich. Sie entschuldigen, you're apologizing, you cannot come. So you want to say, I'm sorry, I cannot come. So simply go ahead and say, ich entschuldige mich, full stop. And then you say, I cannot come. I prefer when writing the letter, keep your sentences short and precise. So, ich entschuldige mich, full stop. Ich kann nicht. Ich kann, let me say, ich kann leider nicht kommen, ja? Ich kann leider nicht kommen. Unfortunately, I cannot come, right? That was point number two. And then I go to the last point is, was machen Sie am Wochenende? So, was machen Sie am Wochenende? So tell her, what are you doing over the weekend that will make you not to come, right? So simply go ahead and say, am Wochenende fahre ich oder besuche ich, am Wochenende besuche ich meine Familie. And imagine just like that, you will have completed writing your letter. And then you go ahead and conclude. How do you conclude? You could say, so a conclusion for an official letter, you have to say, mit freundlichen Grüßen, mit freundlichen Grüßen. After that, there is no full stop, there is no comma, just plain mit freundlichen Grüßen, and then your two names down there. For example, could say Frederick. That is Frederick Anyango. After a name again, also no full stop. So you see, basically, one of the mistakes that most people normally do is they don't follow the orders, the points in the orders. When writing the letter, first of all, as I've said, identify. Is it a friend letter or an official letter? Number two, you have to follow the points in the order. You have to start with point one, then point two, and then of course, point three. All right? So this is also a sample to show us that when we're writing the letter, once you understand the points, it is easier to use the examiner's points, yeah? Personalizing it. All right, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, This one brings us to the end of today's sample. As I always say, keep practicing. All right. If you're here and you are just tuning in, let me say my motto is always keep practicing. The best way you can get to improve your German learning or German speaking is to always practice. Well then, folks, that brings us to the end of today's class. Let me say, das ist alles für heute. Tschüss und bis dann. Okay, I'll be seeing you in the next one.